Films give misfits a place to go. They give outcasts a home. They give losers like me a reason for being. They provide me with joy, with sorrow, and with beauty. Films give me life. They are magical things. They are forever alive. They speak to me. I'm almost in too much physical pain to write this. My presence on this platform has been somewhat non-existent for over a month due to a chronic and sometimes debilitating illness that I have. There are times where I am in enormous pain and I faint from the intensity of the discomfort. I haven't been able to focus on anything but the agony that comes from my guts and prevents me from sleeping through the night. I have been in and out of hospital beds and on and off of several different havoc-wreaking medications. I'm not getting any better and I'm worried. I will have this disease for the rest of my life and it scares me. I need to get better. Once a year, I sit down with Jules and Jim, and once a year, Francois Truffaut's masterpiece consoles me. It simply makes me feel very happy and very warm. Jules and Jim takes care of me. Jules and Jim is a world. It is the purity of existence. It contains all the minute and grandiose complexities of a life well lived. To watch Jules and Jim is to experience life totally. Jules and Jim transports its viewer into a universe of loving infinity. It is a film about the impossible. It's about friendships and trysts. It's about bohemian irony and feminine virtue. It's about the woman that changed everything. It's about living life. You said I love you. I said wait. I was about to say take me. You said go. These are the first lines from Jules and Jim, spoken by the legendary Jean Moreau over a pitch-black screen. It is both haunting and seductive. Then, boom. We are catapulted into the frenzied and lively galaxy of the eponymous heroes. We watch them live, loud, manic, and rhythmic. We watch them experience the sound and the fury of a world imploding over their own wit and grandeur. It only gets better from there. This film doesn't stop. Just doesn't stop. It remains loyal to the manic pace it marries itself to during the opening sequence. I believe Jules and Jim is arguably, it's up there with one of the best directed films ever made. The sheer amount of visual information Truffaut expresses in just 105 minutes is astonishing. His mastery of film grammar is evident in every flourish and movement his camera makes. Truffaut gives us a superimposed poem. He managed to nurture the actual qualities of existence and redistribute them in 360-degree rotations. Jules and Jim is Francois Truffaut's God particle. It's one of the greatest gifts to world cinema. Much like Antonioni, Truffaut layers his film with literal metaphors as expressed by a remarkably astute camera that indicates symbolic meaning through technical displays of grammar. Unlike Antonioni, Truffaut also loses himself in nearly metaphysical concepts of emotional expressionism. Truffaut was an optimist, and Jules and Jim is an honest work of labyrinthine optimism. It is a film about longing and desire and the rifts that they cause. It's about learning to live inside of the rift. What are the properties of existence? What is the value of a life without a woman to define it, who shares in the burden and the wonder? And can the same woman define multiple lives if she is special enough? Why, of course she can. And we should all be lucky enough to witness her flight. We are all passengers to the women that revel in our hearts. There are fires inside of all of us waiting to be ignited, and there is always a woman leading us there with a lit match. Catherine the Great. When I say that this is one of the most outstanding performances in all of cinema, I mean exactly fucking that. Moreau is fabulous here, absolutely breathtaking. She represents the eagerness in our hearts and the adolescent wonder still contained therein. She represents the woman, not just a woman. She is the woman that came to set your soul ablaze, a force of nature. Catherine is a beautiful, twisted tornado of truth and consequence. She represents ferocity, true love, and true life. Catherine is the emblem of freedom, out of reach, touching from a distance, the woman with the problems that no one can fix but everyone is obsessed with. The woman who loves and lives and smiles and cries and dances and screams truthfully and without apprehension. The woman who lives too much and too frequently. The woman who changed your life. The woman who made it worth living. Catherine is everything you ever wanted, a wish once dreamt. That's how you have to view her. Give yourself to her. Let her remind you of the woman you once had, or let her become the woman you never knew existed, the one you keep hidden in fantasies. Let her remind you of how alive you can be. Take her hand and journey with her to that place of total fearlessness, frenzy, and delight. Let her have you. Let her absorb your heart in jealousy and in worship. Jules and Jim is an all-encompassing art. It is not static being. It is dynamic becoming. Catherine was a statue first. She was a goddess before she was actualized. Catherine was always larger than life, always more than an idealized form. Truffaut's films are about love. They're about passion. You can feel the man's heart. You can feel Jean Moreau and how huge her heart was. How huge her attraction was felt. She's more than a dream. She's more than lust. She's more than simple love. She's more than you or I and herself. Jules and Jim is my cure. I have lived my life for the love of art, for the love of romance, for the love of friendship, for the love of travel, for the love of tenderness, for the love of women, for the love of history, for the love of life. I have lived for the love of film. Thank you, Francois. I know this is called a love letter, but I feel like Jules and Jim, it's your love letter to all of us, but most specifically, to Jean Moreau and the love that you can't help but feel for her. Thank you, Francois. Thank you.